Right, here we are again. What we're going to do today, plant some new giant onion seeds. I know it's February, and for giant onion growers, that's like the end of the world. This should have been done back in October, November. But I'm learning, I'm working on my technique. Repetition is the mother of skill. So with all the help that people have commented and the help people have just passed on to me, I thought I'd give it another go, work my technique, and hopefully get this bit nailed. Now, I've got hold of some Peter Glazebrook seed here. That's available just off eBay. These were $6.95, including the postage and packing, and you get approximately 20 seeds. We've got just over that. I think I got 12 in one side and 14 in the other. Well, why have you got them divided up, you say? Well, here's the thing. I thought I'd found the top mentor in Chris Evans, who grows really great exhibition onions. But then, who was it? Two people. I've got some notes here. Yeah, Laura and Rob from Rob's Allotment Gardening put me onto Allotment Diary. And there, a guy called Dan, who's got a lot of really useful and, well, just useful information. And he just comes across as a proper chap. I mean, why are all these giant onion growers northern? Eh? Must be something in the water up there. Us southern softies probably haven't got a chance, but there we go. So those two people use different potting mixes. I know at this stage of seeds, it probably won't make any difference whatsoever. But what I'm going to do is pot one lot in the Vitax that Chris Evans uses, and one lot in the Jack's Magic that Dan uses. And what I plan to do is follow these along, and I'll keep it in a playlist. So if you want to follow along too, I'd be very grateful. And you can point out all my mistakes and shout at me. I don't care. So that's what we're going to do. Starting in February, I know it's late, but working on my technique. Same onions, two different composts, recommended by two really great onion growers. So that's what we're going to do. And now I'll just move on to the compost and show you that. Right, so here we have our first contender in the red bag. We got the Vitax Grower, traditional potting compost. This was $9.54 a bag for 75 litres. So this works out at 13p a litre. And this is the one used by Chris Evans. Okay, the unfortunate thing for me is it wasn't available locally and I had to get it shipped to me. And the delivery was horrendous. It was £23.80. But if you live somewhere you can get hold of it, a recommended compost. So that works out at 13p a litre. All right, so that's the first contender in the red bag. Now, over here, you'll see I've got some trays because I sieved all this. So in a moment, we'll look at the two composts sieved and we'll look at what came out of the sieve just out of interest. Okay, so on to the next one. Right, our next contender we've got here in the blue bag. This is Westland's Jack's Magic, the traditional compost. This is the one I've seen Dan use on Allotment Diaries. So we'll be giving this one a go as well. Now, luckily this I can get at my local store for just £5 a bag. So that works out, because these are smaller 50-litre bags. So that works out at 10p a litre. So the cost difference is negligible, really. But there I go. There again, another great grower using this. So I thought it'd be quite interesting to see the difference. I think at seed stage, as so many of you have told me, it don't really make a difference. But we'll be doing the same comparison as we pot on and see how we get on, and just see if there is, just for fun and good practice for me. Okay, so now what I'll do is show you the two composts side by side. They've been sieved and had vermiculite added, and I'll talk about that when we get to those bits. Right, so here we have the two contenders. Both have been sieved through an 8mm sieve to take out the larger bits, and both have been mixed with fine vermiculite. That's 1 to 2mm, because as I found out, vermiculite comes in different sizes, fine and medium. So this is fine vermiculite mixed by volume, just with a pot like this, at 3 to 1. So that's what I've done there. They're both really, I just feel light and airy. If I had to fill my duvet with one, I'd go with that. What's that? That's the Vitax, isn't it? Yeah, that's the Vitax one. Just feels a little bit lighter. You know, if you're going to make a sponge, I'd go for the Vitax mix. But in reality, there's next to no difference. That one's a slightly darker, the Jack's Magic, but hardly any difference. As for what came out, sieving, the Vitax, slightly lumpier. The bits that came out were almost like rabbit droppings. All right, so I think it is worth sieving it, because, you know, if you're a seed, you need to be in close contact, and when your little roots come out, you want to be able to easily get through the mix. So I think sieving it is worth doing. Now the Jack's Magic sievings, slightly smaller lumps. I would say they're more ratchet size they are, but it's a little bit stringier. Yeah, a bit more fibrous, but like I say, next to no difference really. All right, so that's our mix. So, well, I ought to stop talking and get on and plant some seeds, shouldn't I? That's why you're here. So we'll get on and do that, and I'll come back when I got that ready. Right, so here's our little seed potting dish that I've made up, you know, expertly divided, written on with Tipp-Ex, so we can keep track of it. Obviously, Vitax, Jack's Magic. There's a line on the inside. The reason I've done that, if you remember last time, I potted the plants in too deep a pot. So what I've made sure this time, that the sowing depth is only 3/4 of this pot. So no matter how deep these grow, they're not going to be longer than this pot. And I'm also going to prick them out from the seedling stage a lot earlier. Something I've learned, to prick them up, giggity, prick them out when they just go past the crook stage, where they come out from being bent over, start to stand up straight, and that's when we'll do it, when they're a lot earlier. So that's the reason for the white line. I've also made a little squisher so we can push the compost down. There again, the reason for that, in my head, if you want an even germination, if the seeds are sitting on an even bed of compost with an even layer of vermiculite on top, then hopefully it should be as fairly even as possible germination. So let's get on and do that. Right, make sure I get the right stuff in the right pot. Right, so this is our Jack's Magic. Whack that in there. Give it a little squash down. Ha, I'm liking that. Check out my woodwork skills too. Right, that's that one. Now the Vitax. I need a bigger table. I know, it's just thrilling, isn't it? It'll be all worth it. It'll be all worth it. Right, give that a little squish down. Ooh, now that's interesting. That is a lot softer under my squisher. A little bit lower as well. Well, it's not exactly a scientific experiment, is it? So there we go. That's the compost in, squished down, happy days. Right, let's put the seed in. Right, I've had to squish it all together a bit so I can get it all in shot. Now, normally people would just scatter these seeds over the top, but because I've only got 20, I'm going to try and put them in sort of pretty individually and give them a bit of room to grow to give them their best chance. Now, something I saw somebody else do, which I thought was quite clever, is by using a little bowl of water and a matchstick, you can pick up the seeds easily. I know I could probably do that with my fingers because I've got good thumbs, but this will work even better on smaller seeds. Just get it wet, pick it up, and drop it in. Wet, pick up, drop in. Wet, pick up, drop in. Come off. Or at least if they're on the end of your matchstick, you can pull them off easily. But how cool is that? I thought it was like the coolest thing. I know, it's a bit over the top, Pete, but that's me. I'm an overthinker. I'm an ABC, follow the line. You wait and see, they're all stuck to my fingers. They're not going to be in a line anyway. But hey ho. Right. So I'll just do 2 rows of these and be right back to you. Right, so that's the seeds sown. So all we're going to do now is give them a covering of vermiculite, just like that. Now, apparently this has to be relatively thick, but I don't know, what the hell's relatively? Relatively is a bit like fairly, I think. The reason behind it that Chris gave being relatively thick is because sometimes when the seeds come out of their covering, they can get confused of which way up they are if there's not enough pressure on top. So we put a reasonable covering on there. I would do with both lots. I think that's pretty even going by the white lines. Right, give that a little push down, help make sure the seeds get in contact with the soil. And the vermiculite. See the Vitax, it's soft. It's soft. Does that mean seedlings, seeds, and all the roots go down easier? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Like I say, probably no difference at all at this stage. But there we are. Right, these now go in a little trough of water. Let everything soak right up through. I tend to do it till I see the vermiculite changes colour and soaks up all the water. Possibly it'd be worth spraying the top. I don't know, we'll let it soak up the water first, see how we get on. And that will be not water straight out the tap, but water that I've had sitting around a bit to get up to room temperature. And then they'll go just on a sunny windowsill until they start to germinate, and then we'll put them up under the grow lights. All right. Now, like I say, all the series on me making a pig's ear trying to grow onions, I'll put in a separate playlist. So if you want to go and have a look at that, you're more than welcome. And I do appreciate the people that have come on and watched my videos, and especially the ones that have commented and given me ideas and encouragement moving forward. It's been brilliant. I really appreciate that. Right. See you next time. Cheers and go on.